At first listen, Lover sounds like a romantic daydream. But what if I told you that beneath the fairy lights and first dances, there is a little voice of anxiety whispering too? Welcome to the first episode of Wednesday in a Cafe, hosted by yours truly. Every other week, I'm going to be yapping about any and all things Taylor Swift. The next episode will be on Patreon. You can go join at the link here to become a part of Track 5 Society and our Fearless fam community for exclusive episodes and more. So in this lyrical analysis of Lover, we're going to explore why Lover is truly a love song, where Taylor subtly expresses fears of loss, insecurity, and longing, and how this makes Lover feel more real. So Lover was released in August of 2019, and I remember at first listen, my first impression was I heard the guitar, and coming from Reputation where there wasn't any guitar at all in the album, like I don't remember a single guitar line. It was super refreshing to have guitar and just like an acoustic guitar back in her music again. And what I got was just like a warm kind of like vintage tone. It felt very just super romantic and like daydreamy. It definitely gives slow dance vibes. A lot of people have used Lover as their first dance at their wedding. I mean, the song would be perfect to waltz to. The strumming pattern actually is like just that's a very waltzy strumming pattern because of the time signature. And also, this is the Lover Eras Tour guitar, by the way. It is not the exact one that Taylor, of course, used on her tour, but this is one that is inspired by the one that she used during the Lover set of the Eras Tour, and you can find it at the link below. I actually taught Lover on this guitar if you'd like to check it out if you are a guitar playing Swiftie. The entire song is giving wedding vibes. It definitely spoke to me as like she is ready for commitment. She is ready to tie the knot. And that was what I heard on first listen. But let's go over the lyrics that showcase deep affection. So the first line that comes to mind is, "Can I go where you go?" And this to me is just showing deep commitment. Can I go wherever you go? Can we always be this close? She is in deep, she is head over heels, she is madly in love. The second line that comes to mind is, "Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand?" And to me, this is her wanting to shout this love from the rooftop. And the third line that comes to mind is, "I take this magnetic force of a man to be my lover." And this just sounds like a vow, like a wedding vow. I feel like the song is basically screaming, please put a ring on my finger, because I am just ready. Like, I am tired of waiting. I would say those are the three main lines to me that deeply express her love. Now there's some other just like cute romantic lines like, "We can leave the Christmas lights up till January. This is our place, so we made the rules." And to me, this is such a sweet sentiment. And I've definitely felt this with my husband, that we are the kind of people that will leave our Christmas lights way past January to where it's almost questionable. But it's our place and we make the rules. And we've always really loved that line because it speaks to us. And this album actually came out right before my husband and I started dating, and it became our album. And this song became one of our Taylor Swift songs, and we have many, but this is one of our just, Lover. So very obviously, Lover was marketed as a love album, but I'm sure we all know that the true love album was actually Reputation. It really felt like it was a love album without the insecurities and the anxiousness. Her most vulnerable song, of course, was Delicate, track 5 on Reputation, and that explored like the very beginnings of that relationship, maybe even before they were exclusive. And everything was just like really new. It was delicate. Everything was very delicate. But now moving into Lover, things are more solid. They've been in a relationship, but now we have themes of anxiety coming up. Maybe we need an entire Lover album deep dive. Let me know if that's something you would be interested in. And we could talk about how this love album just has a layer of anxiety sprinkled throughout. So that's gonna tie us into the next section where we're gonna touch on the lyrics that most express this anxiety. And we're gonna go back to, "Can I go where you go?" I feel like this line has a double meaning. We talked at first of how it expresses her love, her deep commitment to this person, but on the other side of the door, it really touches on the anxiousness that she's feeling in this relationship. Like, she really loves this person, but she's worried that it's not gonna work out. This line is yearning, it's pleading, can I go where you go? And the next line, can we always be this close forever and ever? It just like further expresses the fear that she has that this is not going to last. And unfortunately it didn't. And we saw her cry on the Eras tour, and that was so sad. And she did it with a broken heart. I've loved you 3 summers now, honey, but I want them all. Now, the first many listens, I was like, oh, this line is super sweet. She's been in a relationship for 3 years. She's ready for commitment. She is ready to get married to this person. But now looking back, she is begging for the ring. Please commit to me. And I remember seeing some photos during the Lover era where she actually had a tiny little piece of string wrapped around where a ring would be on her ring finger. And a lot of us were theorizing, are they engaged? Are they secretly married? And I don't think any of those things were true. I think it was maybe her expressing that kind of commitment. That's where she was. Like, she wanted to be married to this guy, Joe, as we know. She was down bad and she wanted him to be endgame. She wanted to be his first string. She wanted to be his A-team. She wanted to be his endgame. Okay, now the line that we really need to talk about is in the second verse. I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you. This is a classic line of insecurity, not to be confused with jealousy, because she's not like jealous of anybody that would be around looking at him. It's just a feeling of not feeling good enough for this person. Every human feels the emotion of insecurity, whether it's in a relationship or something else. But I think a lot of us go through relationship anxiety or feelings of insecurity in a relationship. And for Taylor being such a global superstar, I can only imagine the level of insecurities that could just come in just like left and right. Just thinking about like what the media has constantly had to say about her, betrayal, not just from romantic past partners, but friendships. A lot of insecurities can also come from family, not saying that she has any family that did her wrong or anything, but I know for a lot of people and for myself that sometimes family can give you insecurities that can manifest into your romantic relationships, and that's a whole lot of fun to deal with, let me tell you. But for Taylor, these are a lot of fame-induced trust issues. Any romantic relationship needs reassurance. I think reassurance is so healthy to have. We know that Taylor has had many occurrences of having relationship anxiety. I mean, think about Out of the Woods is a perfect example of that. But there are so many songs in her catalog that talk about not feeling good enough in a relationship. And I think it's been a common theme for her. And I think, she's expressed a lot throughout her career of having anxiety about so many different things. So hopefully she's in a much better place with it now. But as someone who has experienced relationship anxiety, I know the feeling, and it's so nice to have someone that reassures you when you're feeling those gut-wrenching feelings coming on, because sometimes we just like create this story in our heads, this narrative that is not true and not real. And man, sometimes that healthy relationship that you have after like all of the toxic BS that you have dealt with in your life, whether it is just past toxic romantic stuff or family or friends or whatever, that first healthy relationship can be almost such a trigger, because it's just like, okay, like when is the shoe gonna drop? When is the rug gonna get pulled under my feet? And this makes me think of Archer. Archer is track 5, and she sings dark side, I search for your dark side, because she is looking to see what is your flaw, what is the thing that is going to do this relationship in, what is going to make this all crumble and fall apart. So I really think Lover is the true theme of this album. It's not just a love album. It is a love album glitter-coated in anxiety. So now that we've covered both the expression of love and the expression of anxiety, we're going to talk about why these two emotions make this song feel so real. The contrast of these two emotions is so human, And I think that's what makes this song just so powerful, because in the past, Taylor has written a lot about fairy tales, and this song is not talking about a fairy tale or a fantasy. It's full of hope, but it's also full of fear. And I think this expression of love in a vulnerable way just makes listeners feel seen, because I think a lot of people have felt that deep contrast of loving someone, but also fearing the loss at the same time. It's basically a way of Taylor admitting, I love you so much that it scares me. Now, with my own personal reflection of Lover, like I said, at first listen to me, it felt like this romantic, just like daydreamy love song. And it just felt like the perfect anthem as Cody and I were falling in love. And I totally experienced relationship anxiety. And not at first. It kind of came a little ways in when we were starting to like solidify our relationship, and there were just some feelings that cropped up, and it was nothing to do with him. It was everything to do with me and stuff that I had been through in my past that just came up. And an interesting thing that I learned is that your romantic relationships mirror other relationships from your life, and they will bring up triggers that you have not healed from. So this has been the most healing relationship of my life. Thankfully, Cody is a very talk it out person, and I was able to just have a safe space to communicate my feelings in a way that I was never able to articulate them before. And that was very nerve-wracking for me at first. I was very scared and afraid to just bluntly communicate all of my feelings that just felt not pretty and not glittery. We just had a lot of very vulnerable, intimate conversations, and it's really strengthened our relationship. And the reason why, one of the many reasons why I married him, because he just makes me feel seen, safe, and heard, and so loved. And it's just incredible to be with somebody that loves you like that, and loves you through all of your flaws, and wants to grow and evolve with you. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And I'm hoping that someday Taylor will write an album. I'm hoping that TS12 will actually be like the Lover album. Let's redo Lover for real this time. I am absolutely here for an album about how her relationship with Travis is just healing her and making her feel so seen and loved and safe. But if you have a personal reflection of Lover that you would like to share in the comments, I would love to read it. I think it'd be really cool to just see what other people take away from the song or how it is applied to your life. Also, like I said, if you would like to learn how to play Lover, you can check out my tutorial right here. I also have it linked below. And let me know if there is another song that you would like me to analyze next, or should I rank some tracks or deep dive into some Easter eggs? Like, I am so excited to just yap about Taylor Swift, because that's all I want to do. My husband was actually a huge reason why I started this series, because I just kind of yap about Taylor Swift all the time, and he's super supportive. He's a Swiftie, as many of you know, but he is not the yap about Taylor Swift all the time kind of Swiftie, and that's okay. But sometimes it's like, I have theories and I have ideas and I have questions, and I just I will bring up Taylor Swift at any opportunity that I can. And it happens every day, multiple times a day. And he's like, why don't you just make videos to the internet talking about Taylor Swift? Because you just have you have so much to say. And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. So now I'm going to do it. So I created Fearless Fam on Patreon. You can join over here. And it's basically a meshed community of guitar Swifties and non-guitar Swifties. So if you're just here for the theories and the track rankings and all things Taylor Swift, you can join Track 5 Society. But if you are a guitar playing Swiftie or want to be a guitar playing Swiftie and you want to play every single song from Taylor's discography exactly how she plays it on guitar, you can sign up and become a Curl Strummer. You'll also be a part of Track 5 Society as well. But you'll have access to the full playthroughs of every single lesson and the PDF principal guides that are era themed. And our highest tier is Vault Keyholder, which gets you access to our Fearless Friday live stream. And it alternates every other week between a live guitar lesson that goes over the previous Taylor Swift Tuesday lesson and our chatty hangs where we yap about Taylor Swift and we obsess over lyrics, decode Easter eggs, basically anything goes. We just pick a topic and we chat about it. So that is it for today's Wednesday in a Cafe. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.